today's workout, I just want to say thank you to everyone who left me feedback last week on the blog, on the channel, on Instagram, letting me know what kind of equipment you want to see in workout videos. I'm going to start incorporating all your suggestions throughout the year. The number one request I got, though, was more resistance bands, so that's what we're going to do today. This workout is focused on your glutes, and it'll take you just over 10 minutes to complete. There's not a lot of jumping around. It's low impact. We're going to focus on smaller movements, but just because it's not this big, sweaty, intense thing, it doesn't mean it's easy. You're going to feel the burn. You will feel the shake by the end, I promise. All you'll need for this workout is a resistance band loop. I'm using a medium tension, and when you pick what kind of tension you want for this, I want you to consider two things. One, your fitness level, of course. If you're newer to working out, you want to go lighter. If you're more advanced, you want to go heavier. But I also want you to keep in mind how tall you are. We're going to be doing some where our leg needs to be able to go all the way straight. So if you're tall and you go too heavy, you might not be able to get the full range of motion. So again, I'm doing medium, worked perfect. As with all workouts, make sure you're properly warmed up beforehand and always listen to your body, modifying or stopping as needed. If you're new to my channel, I don't play music in the background because I want you to be able to listen to whatever you want. So if you want to queue up a playlist, do that now. And if you're all set, let's get to it. All right, we are going to be in a tabletop for a lot of this workout, so I would recommend you get a towel or just fold your mat over so that you have some sort of padding under your knees. With the resistance band loop, we're going to start with it around the balls of our feet, just like that, and we are going to come to tabletop. We're going to do a couple different exercises, and we're going to add in some variations throughout them. I will walk you through everything. For now, we're going to start in a donkey kick position. So I want you in tabletop with your wrists under your shoulders, knees under your hips. We are going to start with the right leg, and I want you to start with a hold. So extend that right leg straight back behind you, and let's lock in on our form. Now you want your supporting left hip stacked directly over the left knee, so don't lean to the side. We want our hip bones the same distance from the floor, so I want you to notice if you're rolling open through the hips at all. Take that right hip bone, pull it down a smidge, line it up with your left hip. From here, belly button into the spine, knit your ribs together, squeeze into the base of your seat. We're going to start moving in 3, 2, 1. So we're crunching the knee in and then just extending it back straight. Now when you extend it straight, I don't want you to arch into the low back, so we really need to keep our core engaged. The foot is flexed, you're driving through the heel, squeezing into the base of your seat as that leg straightens to hip height, and then you crunch the knee back in. Now we're going to take another hold coming up. We're going to ramp up the intensity of this hold, though, by tucking our left toes and hovering that supporting left knee 2 inches off the floor. In 3, 2, right leg is straight, plant the ball of your left foot, and lift that knee just 2 inches. Hold. This should be a lot harder than that first hold. Just give me 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee drops down, back to full range of motion. You have 20 seconds to finish up this exercise. Coming up next, we are going to do a hydrant kick, similar, but we are going to have open hips for it. On my count, I want you to straighten out that leg, hold it straight, and then rotate the thigh bone open. So now my toes and my knees point towards the wall, not the floor. From here, we're going to crunch the knee in towards our triceps and extend it back out, but I don't want you leaning into that supporting side. So make a fist with your left butt cheek and kind of pop the hips forward so that your left hip is stacked over that left knee. Let's crunch. Now, if these are a little too difficult up on straight arms with your upper body square, you can modify by lowering onto your left forearm. If we stack open through the upper body, these are going to be a little easier. Now, I want you to start adding in 2 pulses. Every time that leg is straight, pulse, pulse, and then 1 crunch. If you're looking for a challenge, though, in holding those hips open, I want you to try to do this on 2 straight arms. We are going to finish these with just the straight leg pulses. On my count, I want you to extend the legs straight. Again, if it's getting to be too intense, just lower onto that left forearm. Hold. From here, just the pulse. Up, up. So your left side glutes are working to keep the hips stacked, but you're not leaning into that outer left hip. On my count, you're gonna come onto both forearms. You have one more move to go on this tabletop. Pulse 3, 2, 1. You're on both forearms. We square the hips, bend that knee. From here, it's just a little pulse to start. So foot is flexed, knee is bent, and it's just an inch or two of movement, trying to keep that knee right around hip height, abs in tight. If you want to challenge, you can take that left hand and place it on the small of your back. Woo, it should be burning, guys. We're almost there. You have about 20 seconds to go, and then this leg is done. Really squeeze, squeeze. I want you to picture you're making a fist with that right butt cheek as you drive the heel up, up. 10 seconds to go. Stay with it. Don't let that knee drop down. You're keeping tension on the bungee cord. For 3, 2, 1, done. Woo, okay. So now we're just going to center everything off. I want you to bring the loop up around your thighs, so just an inch or two above your knees. From here, I want you to lay down. I want your heels stacked under the knees, so you should be able to touch them lightly with your fingers. You're going to lift your hips up high into a bridge, weight in the heels, squeeze into the base of your seat, and we're going to start with just a static hold. Now, if you feel this in your low back, you're arching too much, and we're forgetting to engage through the core. So knit your ribs together, pull the belly button in tight. Whew. All right. We're going to start adding a little pulse. To start, it's going to be up and down. In 3, 2, 1. You take it up, up. Squeeze, squeeze. So it's a very small pulse. Think of creating it just by making a fist with your butt cheeks. I know I've used that visual twice now, but it does the trick. A few more like this, and then we're going to hold at the top and we're going to pulse out, pushing against that resistance band. 3, 2, hold at the top. Now we're going out, out. It's small. One final variation, guys. We're just going to pulse out and then up. In 3, 2, 1. Take it out an inch, up an inch, out and up. Almost there, guys. This little reset is almost done, and then we're going to do that same series on the left leg. Give me 4, 3, 2, 1, done. Okay, so I want you to return the resistance band loop back to the balls of your feet. We're going to come in tabletop. We're going to do that exact same series on the left side, and then just like that, you are done with your glute workout. Even though we're not jumping around and sweating a bunch, it does not mean that this is easy by any means. I know I was burning and shaking by the end of that first set. All right, guys, so we're going to start with that donkey kick. Knees stacked under hips, wrists stacked under shoulders, core engaged. And we're going to start in the hold. So I want you to extend that left leg straight behind you. And before we do anything, we just lock in on form here. Make sure you're keeping tension on the resistance band the whole time though. So our hips are square to the floor, abs in tight. And if you're leaning over towards your right hip, I need you to press a little added weight in that left hand. Maybe you even tent the right fingertips so that you can't lean into that supporting side. We're going to start moving in 3, 2, 1. So that left knee just crunches in, and then you extend the leg straight. Now I don't want a ton of movement in this low back, so as I extend the leg straight, I'm not arching my back down and kicking the leg up. I'm keeping my spine at neutral as the knee crunches in and extends out. So think of squeezing into the base of your seat, right where your butt cheek meets the base of your thigh. So we have that challenging hold coming up. On my count, your left leg is going to go straight. We're going to come to the ball of the right foot and hover that right knee just 2 inches. 3, 2, 1. Let's do it. Whew. Abs in tight, hips square. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee down, full range of motion to finish up this exercise. Now coming up in 10 seconds, we're going to take it into those hydrant kicks. So we do those with an open hip. Right now our hips are square to the floor. Coming up, we're going to roll open through that left hip bone. 3, 2, start with a hold. So that leg is straight, and then you just rotate open. So now my left toes and left knee are pointing to the wall, not the floor. When I did that, I didn't lean over to the right. I'm still engaging through the right side seat to keep the right hips stacked over the right knee. All right, let's start crunching. That knee is crunching in towards your triceps, and then you're extending the leg straight. Modification for this one, come onto your right forearm. It helps a bunch. If you have tight hips, this is the version you're gonna wanna take down on that forearm. All right, start adding in your 2 little pulses. Every time that leg is straight, pulse, pulse, 1 crunch. If you really want a big challenge for those abductors, we are doing it on 2 straight arms, chest and shoulders, square to the ground. The opening just comes from the lower half. You got 15 seconds in this combo, then we will finish with just the pulse. Whew, and then we go into our home stretch. Check in on that supporting hip. Remember, we're not leaning over to the side. Okay, guys, hold in stillness. You're gonna pulse it out to finish. Up an inch, up an inch. Now you should be pulsing at your highest point. I don't want the cord to go slack. The cord, the bungee loop, I mean. Last 3, 2, 1. We are going to rotate onto our forearms. You are going to bend that left knee to 90 degrees, foot is flexed, and you're giving me a little pulse at the top. Up an inch, up an inch. This is your burnout to finish. It should not be easy. You're going to want to drop the knee, really fight to keep it up, lifted towards hip height, and then from there it's just 1 inch up, 1 inch up. Woo, okay, I am feeling it. Again, if you want a challenge, you take that opposite hand, you place it on the small of your back. Close your eyes if you need to. Stay with me. You have 15 seconds. That is it. You can do anything for 15 seconds. Think about making a fist with that left butt cheek. You're driving the heel up an inch, squeeze, squeeze. Give me 8, 7, 6, 5. You can do it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Okay, guys. We're going to center off again just so we don't end lopsided. I want you to pull that loop up around your thighs, an inch or 2 above your knees. And we're going to make our way into that hip bridge position. I want your heels stacked under your knees, arms by your side, lift those hips up, start with just a hold. So, hip bones square to the ceiling, making fists with those butt cheeks. I don't know why I always use that as the visual, but it really works. Weight is in your heels. Our core is still engaged, so I don't want you to arch through the back, all right? We got to pull the abs in. From here, let's start with our little pulse up, up, up. Bigger is not always better. Instead of creating the pulse by lowering and lifting your hips, I want you to think about creating the pulse just by squeezing into the base of your seat. So that's how small it is. All right, you're gonna hold at the top and start pulsing out in 3, 2, hold. Now it's a little movement out against that resistance band loop. Out, out. You have one final change, and then this quick workout is over. We're going to pulse up and out. Combo it out in 3, 2, 1. Out 1 inch, up 1 inch. Out and up. Give me 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You're done in 3, 2, 1. Done. Release those hips. Awesome job. And that is your workout. Flew by, right? If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and you know the drill. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, what the hell, guys? Click that subscribe button. Before I leave, big shout out to Nike for giving me this cropped sweatshirt. I don't know if I'm in frame here, but I'm obsessed with it. All right, guys, I'll see you here next week.